like to hear. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in Washington in general, because a couple of years ago I moved to Arizona, and yeah, that was a mistake, let me tell you. I thought I was going to move to the desert and discover myself, and instead I just discovered I have autism. Yeah, got into an argument with a roommate, and he was like, "You need professional help." And I was like, "I'll make a psych ward appointment right now." And it didn't go how I wanted it to. I had a long conversation with the doctor. He's like, "Mr. Foster, I think you have autism spectrum disorder." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." He's like, "Well, what you have, we technically used to call Asperger's syndrome, but then we found out that Dr. Asperger's was a Nazi. So it's all autism now." What that translates to is I don't have the useful autism where you're good at math and science like Rain Man. I've got the kind where I don't like physical touch, and if you fold my clothes wrong, I'll scream at you. I say off-putting things sometimes, and I'm just like, "No, I have a doctor's note for it, please. Please ignore me." We were talking about it though. I was like, "So it's all autism?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So me and the guys who rock back and forth really fast and don't talk technically have the same thing?" And he was like, "Technically, yes." And I was like, "Does that mean I can say retard?" And he was like, "Sure." So I've been doing that lately. Got me in trouble recently. I was on a date with a lady at a hockey game. I said something weird. I went, "Sorry, I have autism. I'm kind of retarded. I have a doctor's note for it." And she goes, "I don't like that word." And I was like, "Well, I would like to redirect your attention to the doctor's note I just provided you." And then 10 minutes later, we went to go get a drink, and she goes, "Look, Shad, they have a sensory room." And I was like, "Hold on. You just yell at me for saying the R word, then point me to the autism room? I don't think you're allowed to do that." I did go check it out. It was quiet. They had puzzles. I had a good time. Yeah. I got out, and she was like, "How is it in there?" I was like, "Do you want to see? The password's retard. Get in there, champ. Come on." I was in a relationship when I was diagnosed with autism. I came home and told my girlfriend. She didn't believe me. She's like, "We've been together 6 months. I haven't heard you mention trains one time." I was like, "Do you want to see my Lego sets again?" She's like, "No, never mind." She got more supportive. She was trying to get me to watch autism-based television, like that show Love on the Spectrum. We familiar with that? Yeah, we are. If you don't know what that is, it's a show where they take people who don't like physical touch, eye contact, or social cues, and they make them do that on TV. I think that's mean. I think that's like having a little person basketball league show and calling it Hoops Below the Belt. She was like, "Do you want to watch this show?" I was like, "Do you mean The Mirror?" "No, thank you. I don't want to." She just put it on. And like 2 episodes in, she was trying to be supportive, and she was leaned over. She goes, "Honey, you're a lot more functional than a lot of these guys." And I was like, "That's a weird thing for you to say." Mostly because I didn't want to admit that I'd been admiring this dude's sword collection for the last 20 minutes. She thought I was on my phone not paying attention. I was on Google trying to figure out which Lord of the Rings the one on the left was from. Just having a good time. I got a cat. You guys like cats? Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. I got a cat. His name's Arson, like the felony. Yep. He's an emotional support animal. I got a tattoo of him. He's pretty sweet. And he's a real emotional support animal. Not like I lied to Delta to get him on a plane. I had to go back to the doctor, and I had to go, "Sometimes I want to die." And my doctor went, "I'm going to write you a prescription for 1 cat." I was like, antidepressants would have been great, but I'll take a mouth to feed, I suppose. And like, I learned pretty quickly there's a difference between emotional support and service animal. Cats only do one of those things. Dogs, great at both. They work, they do things, they help blind people cross the street, they can detect seizures, they can tell cops you have drugs if they're not cool. And they'll give you a hug. I got a cat, he doesn't do anything. Like, I come home and I don't think he knows he has a job. You know, like he doesn't know he's on the clock when we're hanging out. I'll come home from a bad day. I'm like, "What's up, dude? You want to snuggle?" He's like, "Actually, idiot, I'm trying to get in your dresser right now. So if you don't..." And I threw up on the bed. So if you want to clean that up, I'm going to lick my butthole in the corner really loud. He's a nightmare. We're never awake at the same time. I get up, I go to work. He sleeps all day. And then I come home and I go to bed and he's up touching my things. It's a problem. The other day I heard my MacBook hit the ground at 3 a.m. I called my therapist. I was like, "Dude, your prescription sucks. I want to kill myself more." And he's like, "Well, let's try something real quick before we change anything. Let's double the dosage. Let's get a second cat, see what happens." Yeah. So after this, I got to go home and feed Arson and Extortion. which are 2 things I'm going to do to my therapist if I don't get my pet deposit back. Speaking of cats, I do like cats. I'm very jealous of them. They say cats have 9 lives, and sometimes I wish I had 9 lives, because I just kill myself in front of people who inconvenience me. I think that'd be fun for everybody. Someone cuts you in line, you're like, yeah, idiot, what's up? Bang. You get rear-ended in traffic, you just get out, make eye contact, and run in front of a semi. Oh, you're late for work? I'm flat. Cry about it. On vacation, someone hits you with their stroller at the Grand Canyon, you're like, see you later, idiot. I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's a good time. But I'm also a dumb person. And I have dumb friends. I got a dumb friend, his name's Redmond Jones, and that's his government name. And the only reason I'm telling you that is because I need you guys to understand how dumb Redmond is. He didn't graduate high school, but he did forge his own high school diploma, and he misspelled his own name. So his name in my phone is Redmond Jose with a picture of his messed up diploma. And Redmond used to work at the airport, and he called me recently, and he goes, hey man, I just found these EpiPens at work. And I was like, that's a crazy way to say you stole someone's EpiPens. Why are you telling me this? And he goes, well, how do you feel about taking a road trip back to Arizona? And I was like, why would I do that? And he goes, well, I have an idea. Let's go back, and let's find some rattlesnakes. And let's get bit and see if these things work. I take it from the laughter, you guys know that no one's allergic to a rattlesnake, right? They're long, skinny ground tubes full of death juice. They bite you and you die. It's really simple. But he's not smart. And he really wanted to go. And it was his birthday weekend, so he went first. I was selling shirts later that say, rest in peace, Redmond Jose, with a picture of the messed up diploma. I'm kidding. He wanted to drive, and he doesn't know where Arizona is. We just ended up at the ocean. And he got stung by a jellyfish, and I peed on him. It was a good time. We're messing around, dude. We're having a good time. I have another dumb friend. His name is Matt, and Matt likes to open beer places he's not supposed to, like my car. Like, we'll be drinking at the house. And then we'll go, hey, let's go get some beer before 7-Eleven cuts us off, because they do that, and it doesn't feel great. So we'll get in the car, we'll click our seatbelts on, and we'll start the car up, and then from the passenger seat, I'll hear, and I'm like, what's that? And he's like, oh, I brought a beer for the road. And I'm like, that's cool, I don't have a license. What are we doing? He's like, if anyone sees it, they're just going to think it's a soda. And I'm like, hey, idiot, I don't think Pepsi makes 40 ounces. We got him in trouble one time. We were at a bar, and he goes, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. And I was like, great, I'll be here. And then 45 minutes go by, and I don't know if you guys have dumb friends or not, but if you lose a dummy for 45 minutes, it's probably not good. So I go outside to see what's going on, and he's getting put in the back of a cop car. So I walk up to the cop, and I was like, that's my roommate, and I got to pay rent. What's going on? And he goes, well, I guess Matt walked out here, and he smoked a cigarette, and then he reached into his pocket, and he pulled out a beer. And the bouncer went, hey man, you can't do that here. There's a place for that right there. And Matt went, I'm from Louisiana, I don't care. And now we're here. So I talked to the cop for a couple of minutes. And I was like, are you going to let him off with a warning or something? I'll get him home. I've got a license, I promise. And the cop was like, yeah, we can do that. And then from the backseat of the cop car, we heard, Now, I don't know if any of you have ever had a cop look at you like your dad who just got you smoking cigarettes. Not a good feeling. I was like, you got to talk to Matt. And he turns to Matt and he goes, hey man, what are we doing? And Matt goes, from Louisiana, you didn't search me good enough. I don't care. I got one more joke and then we're going to bring up the next comic. I'm a single guy. I'm dating right now. And a couple of weeks ago, I went on a date with a lady who peed my bed. It's the adequate response. It wasn't consensual, just so we're clear. I didn't ask for it. It was just on and around the place I sleep. I woke up and the side of my underwear were wet. She peed so much she peed my pants for me. I was like, no big deal. I'll go sleep on the couch. Couldn't do that. There's pee there too. It's a futon. It's the same place. I don't have money. She woke up. She tried to play it off. She's like, I'm so sweaty. And I was like, I don't think people sweat ammonia. Hey, you smell like asparagus. Yeah, she called me later that night. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm still cleaning my mattress. what do you want? She's like, do you want to hang out? And I was like, depends. She didn't laugh. She didn't like it. No, she hooked up with my best friend to get back at me. He called me the next day. He's like, hey man, I don't know what happened, but you didn't pee my bed. I was like, I think that means you didn't do it right then. Yeah, she found out I was telling this joke recently. She confronted me. She got mad. She's like, hey man, I don't like that you're telling people that I peed your bed. I was like, hey man, I don't like that you peed my bed. She was like, that was a really traumatic experience for me. And I was like, oh, samesies. Had to replace a mattress. She's like, stop it or else. And I was like, sue me. And she did. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know if anyone here's done stand-up in a courtroom before. Not a fun time. At the end of it, the judge was like, Mr. Foster, why do you think you should be allowed to tell this joke? And I was like, Your Honor, I'm not specific when I tell the joke. I say a girl peed my bed. I don't say defendant Jessica Wiley peed my bed.